The coast of Georgia is known for its beauty and history, and I found both and then some at Gilliard Farms in Brunswick. It's a family operation run by Chef Matthew Raiford and his wife Tia.
And so these right here belong to this chocolatey pepper family.
What is that called?
Chocolate pepper.
Chocolate pepper?
Real scientific.
Reil scientific.
You guys are making this up as we go along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I came here in search of the fresh seafood this region is known for, but what I found was so much more.
It's about every group of people that ever touched this coast. So we have Spain, Portuguese, and you lay over the top of that folks from Africa. So that's what our food is like here. So lots of seafood, lots of one-pot cookery, lots of long smoking.
Matthew built a career in fine dining restaurants all over the world, but farming and the connection to the land is in his blood. Gilliard Farms has been in his family for 6 generations and is named after his great-great-great-grandfather.
Gilliard Farms came to be because Jupiter Gilliard paid $9 in taxes for 476 acres of land. During that time period in 1874, when he did that, first of all, amassing $9 and having been an ex-slave, it's probably like almost unheard of. But he was a woodworker and iron worker and was able to save that way.
Matthew's culinary career took him far beyond Brunswick. In 2010, he was working as the executive chef for the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. That same year, he returned home to the farm for a family reunion that would change the course of his life.
We come home, and my nana goes, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna ask y'all this. What are we gonna do with all this land?" And I just kind of like turned my head really slowly to my sister, and my sister just went like this. And it felt like somebody on this side of my shoulder was like whispering like, "You know you need to come home. Like, this time." And so I just turned to my Nana and I was like, "You know what, Nana, we should go back to farming the land." And she was like, "We, baby." And I said, "Yeah."
Matthew's Nana gave him and his sister the deed to 13 acres of land that day. But before he rolled up his sleeves on the family land, he headed to California to learn sustainable farming practices. Now, he's putting what he learned to work and carrying on a legacy of stewardship.
We have almost 50 of that original 476 acres. I'm raising hogs just like he did. I'm raising chickens just like my great-grandmother did. My wife T and I are still wild foraging out here just like all of our great-grandparents did before us.
Today, Matthew and Tia are once again rooted on the land his ancestors farmed. They honor the many cultures and traditions that have shaped the foodways of the region with their own cooking. A perfect example is Matthew's coastal paella, a seafood-studded rice dish that nods to the Spanish influence in the area. All right, Matthew, you know how I know you're from the South?
How?
It's because you're peeling shrimp without complaining.
Yeah,
It's just a part of life here.
It's just a part of life, you know what I'm saying? And I love these shrimp, man. Georgia white shrimp are some of the best Swedish shrimp, you know, you can eat. This was swimming less than 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You can't get any more fresh than that.
No, you can't. That's great shrimp. Nearly all the ingredients we used were grown on the farm or sourced from the nearby waters. But the most important ingredient for Matthew was the rice.
It's been quite a journey. I have been working with an organization called the Jubilee Justice, and the organization is about reclamation of rice back into African Americans' hands, that's one of the reasons we were brought to this country in the first place. And this is our first set of rice that we've worked with.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this paella today. You have no idea.
Matthew's focus on food as medicine and using what you have on hand resulted in an unexpected addition to the paella.
So can't forget about this, the turmeric. Cannot. So this is also kind of creating a dish that's going to have some anti-inflammatory to it and all of that, along with adding that nice orangish color to it.
We adorned the rice with shrimp and clams from down the way and then gathered around the table with family and friends to enjoy.
You want to stay?
I kind of do.
Here you go. We have a
Use some help,
room
yeah?
and we can use some help. We can
Mama
get you-
will make sure you're fed.
Mhm.
All right, well, that's all you had to say.
And she'll be calling you, you'll be hearing, Bryan!
Until I'm ready to take Matthew up on his offer, he's teaching his own children how to farm. They will one day pass on this knowledge to their children. This generational stewardship of the land is part of everything Matthew does.
Being a black man in the United States and able to say that there's an 8th generation that has been on this land, not enslaved on this land, but on this land, stewarding it, planting, harvesting it, even sustaining the family is just an amazing thing to be able to say.
Love what you're watching? Take your cooking to the next level with our Essential membership. Get instant access to thousands of recipes, tips, techniques, product reviews, and step-by-step videos. Our Members app allows you to search by ingredient, set dietary preferences, and save your favorite recipes. For those looking to level up, our newest feature, ATK Classes, offers more in-depth instruction led by ATK experts so you can gain greater confidence in the kitchen. Start your free trial by visiting the App Store or going to americastestkitchen.com/YouTube today.
Bryan, that farm looks so amazing. You must have learned so much.
I absolutely did. Matthew and Tia were just such gracious hosts. Watching the way they cook, his approach to taking a traditional Spanish paella and just turning into a coastal Georgia delicacy is really amazing.
Love that.
We're going to start with a shrimp stock. We have a pound of 21-25 shrimp, so that means there's 21 to 25 shrimp per pound.
Okay.
We're going to peel and devein the shrimp. So I always like to take the paring knife and I'll invert the paring knife so the blade is facing up, and I'll cradle the shrimp in my fingers so his little leggies are hanging down into my hand there, and I'll gently run the knife down the vein, just rocking it a little bit to kind of cut through the shell and expose that top part where the vein typically exists. And if there's no vein, that's great. And you just have the opportunity now to just peel the shell away. And as you get down to the bottom towards the tail, you just give it a gentle squeeze. So we have all of our shrimp. All right, so we could set our shrimp shells to go right into 6.5 cups of water. And our shrimp, we're going to season this with 3/4 of a teaspoon of fine sea salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We just toss this together. And this is just going to season the shrimp. And we're not going to use the shrimp immediately. It'll go in our paella, but we'll just let it start marinating for a minute. The shrimp's set aside. We're going to add the rest of the ingredients to the stock. So we have 1/2 an onion. We have 1 head of garlic that we've cut in half. 1 full tablespoon of ground turmeric. Traditionally, you'd use saffron. Turmeric will also add that bright yellow color, but it's got this earthy ginger-like flavor that it really changes the whole complexity of this paella. 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. This will add a lot of depth to this stock. 2 teaspoons of fine sea salt. 1 teaspoon of peppercorns. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper flakes for a little bit of heat. And 1/2 of a lemon. We're just going to squeeze that. And we'll throw the spent half in there. All right, so we'll turn the stock on to high heat and we'll bring it to a boil. And once it starts boiling, we'll reduce the heat to medium-low and we'll let it simmer for just 10 minutes. All right, Tony, our stock has been simmering away for 10 minutes. And we're just going to strain this.
Look at that magnificent color.
Yeah, it's still got that golden hue that you would get from saffron. And you could just smell it. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll just press on all the ingredients here.
Get every little last drop.
Now, if we're a little shy of 6 cups, we can add a little bit of water to this and bring it up. That's why we started with 6.5 cups, because we knew there would be some evaporation. Okay, Tony, we're ready to start cooking our paella. First things first, we're going to create a lid for our paella pan here. I learned this the hard way after trying to put a piece of aluminum foil on top of a hot paella pan.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it while the pan is cold. Now, it's just going to be there to help the seafood steam. This is a 14-inch paella pan. This is carbon steel. It's one of the ones we really like to use. In our paella pan, we have a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to turn that on to medium heat. Okay, and let that heat up just for a moment until it starts to shimmer. So we'll add 1 bell pepper cut into thin strips, onion, and 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt. So we'll let this go for about 10 minutes until the bell peppers are soft and the onions just begin to brown. Okay, our peppers are softened, our onions are beginning to brown around the edges, and we're almost ready for our rice. And that's an important distinction between Matthew's recipe and a traditional Spanish paella. He's using long grain white rice, and he actually, on the farm, uses rice he grows himself.
Amazing.
Which is a real nice nuttiness to it. So we're gonna add 3 minced garlic cloves to this.
Yeah, but
Nothing
the
like that
perfume
smell.
is already coming out.
So garlic is very fragrant. We're gonna add our 1.5 cups of long grain white rice. We'll stir that around. We're trying to coat all the grains with a little bit of the oil that's in the pan, and we wanna toast it up until it gets nice and translucent around the edges. It takes about 2 minutes. All right, you can smell the rice has got a little bit of nuttiness to it, and you can see the edges of the grains are beginning to get a little translucent. So at this point, we can add our full 6 cups of our shrimp stock. We want to increase the heat to high and bring this to a rapid boil. We could stir for the first 8 minutes if we want to. After that 8 minutes, when the level of the stock matches the level of the rice, we're no longer going to stir.
This is a really vigorous boil you've got going here.
It seems aggressive, but all that rapid boiling is really pulling out some of the starch of the rice. It's emulsifying the fat that's in our stock and in our sauté. So at the end, you're going to get this really luscious, creamy paella. So you can see that the liquid is reduced down to the level of the rice here. We're going to reduce the heat now to about medium. So we're going to just drop about a dozen clams here. These are little neck clams. It's really, really important that you scrub the outside of these clams. Clams come with a lot of sand attached to them. You know, nobody wants to eat that, especially me. So we'll just drop 8 around the perimeter here. Put them hinge side down. And we'll drop 4 clams right in the center. And now we're going to use our lid, put that right over top. I'm going to let that go for 6 minutes. It's been 6 minutes. We could take a look at our clams. So you see, they require a good head start here because, you know, some of them are just starting to pop open. Others have been busted open for a little bit. Now we could layer in our shrimp. Put a couple of shrimp pressing here.
You can already see the shape of it coming together. It's really pretty.
It's a gorgeous dish. And as you're placing the shrimp, you just want to give them a little push. Same as the clams, they're going to kick off a little bit of liquid. We're going to cover this up again. We're going to let it go for another 5 minutes just to cook the shrimp through.
Okay.
And after that 5 minutes, we're going to cut the heat off and let it sit for another 5, just so the shrimp can finish cooking. All right, ready for the big unveiling?
Oh my goodness. Isn't that gorgeous?
And the aroma that hits you. We're going to hit it with a tablespoon of chopped parsley. Can I serve you up?
I would love that.
All right, a little bit of shrimp, some rice, a couple clams for you. You can see the bell peppers melted nicely. And you can see here in the center, there's a little bit of the sauerkraut, the crispy rice on the bottom. So I like to use a fish spatula and just kind of scrape it up. Right
Gorgeous.
there. How about a little olive oil on yours?
Ooh.
Lemon squeeze?
Thanks.
Okay. All right, so let's just focus on the rice here first. It's perfectly cooked through.
Absolutely.
Really well seasoned because of that shrimp stock we invested so much time and care into.
And I don't miss the saffron at all.
When we used the fresh turmeric, it was just an unreal kind of flavor, that peppery earthiness.
Okay. How about the seafood?
Yeah, let's go for it.
For full episodes of your favorite cooking shows, head over to ATK's Full Episodes channel on YouTube. You can stream complete seasons of America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, and more. See you there.